Hello, my inquisitive friends, and welcome back to Alien Protocols. Today, I wanted to chat with you about advanced civilizations and what we could and should expect. Now, first of all, with even a slightly more advanced technological civilization, we should not be able to really trust our senses or even our own knowledge because technology grows so quickly and their use of it could really baffle us. And even if we think we know something and we see something and hear it and it appeals to our senses and we apply our logic to it, it may not be at all what it seems to be. And that's very much why Jacques Vallée, after, you know, decades of intense research, referred to them as a possible control system, which is a very fascinating term, or couple terms, to describe the phenomena that we know is happening. They do things that we just don't understand. In many cases, craft seem to just disappear. And many people speculate it's interdimensional or wormholes or all these things when they could be doing something a lot easier. They could be moving faster than we can visually detect. You know, if they're greatly more advanced than us technologically, they would be operating at a faster speed because of their technology and their processing of information, and they could literally be moving faster than our eyes can capture. There's also simpler explanations aside from interdimensional, like camouflage. There are many cases of craft appearing to fly into something, and it's easy to see how camouflage could be utilized in that way. So a lot of things we think could be this could be something else. They don't even have to be even really there. It could be an illusion, a true visual illusion, or somehow able to affect our consciousness in order to perceive an illusion. It could be a distraction. There are a lot of really cool aspects to having a more advanced civilization interacting with you. There are a ton of cases of size changes where craft will change size, not only just change shape, but change actual size. And there's a lot of stories about TARDISes, and TARDIS is a space that is bigger on the inside than the outside. You know, some of these craft that seem to break apart and have smaller little crafts shoot away, it seems like a really staggering technology. As if perhaps the whole craft is made out of nano components that can easily separate to form their own craft. There could be a whole series of reasons why they appear to get larger or smaller, change shape. And we shouldn't immediately leap to the most extreme conclusions. You know, does a smaller craft mean higher technology? Not necessarily. I believe that they could appear like anything. Literally anything. If they can control space, time, and matter and energy, they could do things we couldn't even imagine. It would appear to break every law of physics that we understand. And when people say interdimensional, I wonder what kind of dimensions? Are these the classic smaller dimensions that are wound up in spaces we can't see? There's a lot of different meanings for the word dimensions in the UFO context. So I think we have to be kind of cautious about our approach to interdimensionality. If there are more reasonable, less extreme possibilities, the old Occam's razor. Maybe it doesn't have to be interdimensional if it can just camouflage. And I think these are cool and important areas to investigate and think about, especially if you're a really active UFO researcher. A lot of researchers and scientists speculate on communication, how communication could be done. Wanting to use hydrogen and all these different universal mathematical, universalities, prime numbers, things like that to initiate a communication with them. Which may be a little bit naive. I'm not sure, but I would think that they probably know every language on the planet. Even if they're from many, systems away. They would be receiving a lot of data from us through the radio waves and all the other electromagnetic spectrum information that we send out from our planet. So, communicating with them might be as simple as speaking English. They probably know, I would guess, most languages on the planet. And there's such an incredible variety of types of craft, which lends itself to many different speculations. How many races are there? I have certain beliefs of the amount that are visiting us. But as I was exploring in a previous episode, all of the different craft, all the different biological sightings, all of it could be explained by one sufficiently advanced technological civilization. One single von Neumann probe could have landed, 1,000 years ago and just replicates itself, replicates the craft and the biologicals needed for each mission, and intentionally make it look like multiple different races. Or there really could be different races visiting us. It's really fascinating to think about advanced civilizations and how little we know. What do you guys think? Is this very much like the zoo hypothesis? A lion in the zoo will see flashes of light and strange things moving and phenomena it doesn't understand. But those are just tourists with cameras or zookeepers. And let's look at that zoo analogy for a little bit. Maybe the reason we can't detect other advanced civilizations is perhaps we're in some sort of little cornered off little zoo. It's an interesting thought. And those who cornered us off and protected us and are observing us could be very much like those zookeepers. All the environment immediately around us is pre-constructed. And their appearance to do maintenance might be perceived all sorts of different ways by us. I would believe an animal born in the zoo doesn't know any different and thinks their world is real. And although it's a recreation of their natural environment and would seem real to the animal, It's obviously not real. Oftentimes, zookeepers dress up or even do hand puppets that are dressed up to look like the mother animals so that younger ones can feed. There could be a lot of really interesting things happening if we were in a zoo, so to speak. And if so, Jacques Vallée's control system starts to make more sense, doesn't it? So I would encourage, when exploring these topics, to think about Occam's razor. What could be the simpler, less complicated explanation for many of these different events? I would love to hear your thoughts.